Alright, I got the game working. So, I remember when I was young, I saw somebody playing this game, and it just made me sick to my stomach. I have pretty intense anxiety, just as a person, you know? I deal with it in my own ways. This game just triggers absolutely all of it. Everything that stresses me out, everything that freaks me out, everything that scares me. This game is like rife full of it. You guys are lucky I want to do this. That's all I have to say. I don't know what in me thought this would be a good idea, but as soon as I booted the game up to get it working and I remembered the sound design. Okay, let's just do it. I don't need to keep talking. We're cozy, we're chilling, not for long. God, the bag's under my eyes though. Alright. Okay. Here we go, people. Took me a second to get the game running in windowed mode, but
inside the SCP-087-B. Please proceed with caution.
I also had to turn the brightness up just for the stream because like the game itself is so dark. I can't see in front of me really. I can just see the sides of the walls. Looking at the stream, and I can see you guys are able to see like the ceiling and the floor. I can barely make that out on my screen. The goal of this game is you're trying to get to the bottom. So I don't have a mouse. So I'm playing this on a laptop, and oh, a turn. Turns can be your friend in this game. They can be pretty helpful. Yeah, but yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom of this, this big building of some sort, but it's underground. We know that because we sealed in here. So whatever's in here, people are scared of it. And they need somebody to go in, figure out what's going on. Hence, let's throw Jacob in. He'll figure it out, right? Oh man. Also, this is not a game for the claustrophobic. Seriously. Oh! I don't know what he just said, but it scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry. My laptop's on my lap. I'm gonna be jumping so much. Or it's just gonna freak out. Everything's gonna shake. Dear Lord. Alright. Run 4-3. In this game, there's hundreds of floors. This I think it goes on forever. I think I've looked up footage of someone beating it, but it didn't look like they beat it. I couldn't tell what was going on. It just looked scary and crazy. So the first few floors, okay, the sound went away and the loop had to restart. That scared the shit out of me. The first few floors are just setting ambience, really. It's supposed to be like, alright, so we're just going down. So it's kind of scary. It's not that scary. Here we reach our first fork in the road. Every time the sound loops, it scares me. I don't like this. I really don't. Like I said, you guys are lucky that I worked up the nerve to play this fucking game. I heard a noise. Sound like a growl. Also, when you die, I just got scared. When you die, the application just closes. There's no saving, there's no save scumming. The only way to beat this game is to beat it. Ah! I'm scared. 5, alright. Also, if you walk backwards, it's not a good strategy, by the way. A friend of mine tried it. Oh, dude, when the sound loops, it just makes me want to throw up. Just the silence. We made it to 6. Doing pretty good so far. You have no way of fighting anything in here. You have no weapons, you have nothing. The only thing you can do is like go backwards, basically. And there's no real point in doing that even. So like, if you hear something, typically what you want to do is like go stare at a wall for a minute. Helps me calm down, and like sometimes the guy will just go away. Whatever it is, it'll just go away. But after a certain amount of stares, there is something behind you. I don't remember what it is, but I remember it's constantly making noise. It's really fucking scary. This is what, oh, this is like too good of a horror game. Its simplicity kills me. It lulls you into such a state of like getting used to this, and then new variables just keep popping up. There's a wall behind me, I can't go back now. That was a wall. Fuck me. Or 8. Oh. So that's an N. Look at the wall. It's literally been like 10 years since I tried to play this game, and I couldn't handle it. It gives me like panic attacks. I think I can now, though. Streaming it for people is actually making it a little easier, just knowing that, okay, I'm doing this as like a demo of the game, basically, is how I'm framing it in my head. Oh, it's a big open room. And there's noises. You know, we could just stand here and count the bricks. There's an orange brick. Brown bricks. Don't see these every day. Yeah, you probably do. Actually. I don't know why my vision's going all blurry, but it's really scary. I turned around because sometimes there's stuff in these rooms you can't look at. Oh, Lord. Also, I'm pretty sure this game's randomly generated. 10. We were on 11 before. Or N. There's something behind me or close to me. I don't know which way I need to go. Pretty sure it's straight. I think this is the guy who's behind me. We have to keep going. I cannot slow down. Not having a mouse is making this so hard. Going left. I made the right decision. If you make the wrong decision, there's a drop off and you just fall down it and you die. Dude, not having a mouse is kind of breaking my balls a little bit right now. I can't tell when I'm going the right direction and when I'm going the wrong direction when I have to take turns really quickly. I may have a mouse somewhere. If I really need it and I die, I'll grab it. We'll play again. We have to keep moving. Those are footsteps behind me. "13. I almost never make it this far. And like, this is not far. Slow motion's bad when the game starts. Oh my god! We're dead. We died. It's done. Am I dead? I'm not dead. What the fuck? My heart is beating like too fast, too hard, too furious. Jesus Christ, it's all about family, it's all about family, it's all about family. I want to close my eyes and play, but I can't. If I do, I'll die, because there's so many things you have to look out for. 16. I think we just skipped 15. The wall just shifted. This is like Bad Trip the video game. Seriously. This is like pure misery for me. I can hear something down there. It was like, ooh. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play this more than just this playthrough. I think we're gonna die and I'm gonna have like a mini panic attack and we're gonna have to play something else. The sound design is so good, it just raises my anxiety unbelievably. I can't even explain it. It's the notes that they're hitting. It's specific notes and it's like a grating sound. It's 19. We're skipping a lot of 4s right now. That can't be good. My favorite horror games are like Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and The Room's pretty cool, but it's a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't usually play games like this. This is like a whole other domain for me. I do love horror games though. Fuck me, man. These big empty rooms are worst. I'm moving really slow. Now we're going up. Fuck it. Game will, it fucks with you. That's like the whole point. The SCP. Oh, come on. The SCP in itself is this staircase. It's basically like a paranormal object that is a staircase, and then it keeps creating more for you to keep going down, more just trauma for you to go through. It's a hell staircase, basically. Or purgatory, if you'd like to think of it that way. I think the concept is fantastic, but it makes this so much scarier. Look at the wall. Y'all seen that shadow man earlier, right? He was coming right for me. You know I had to take out my 9mm and poop on him. Saw him. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't know what's going on. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. It's done. He heard me talking shit. Shadow man heard me talking shit. He was like, what'd you say, boy? What'd you say, boy? Stare at the wall. Stare at the wall. I didn't pull the Glock out. Y'all saw I ran away like a bitch. I ain't do nothing really. Nothing, not a thing. I think we're safe to keep going. I'm doing really well. This is actually shocking. I never make it this far. I die way before 20. It's usually like 10 to 15. I'm fucking done for usually. If I can hit 25 and before we die, that's like a quarter of the way to the end, I think. Once you hit like 100, they just start turning into symbols. Like archaeological symbols that you'd find in like Egypt, like hieroglyphs and shit. 21. I'm breathing really hard and heavy. My mic's not gonna pick it up. This is so bad. 24. All I want is to hit 25. If I hit 25, I don't care what happens after, we're just gonna charge into the unknown together. Because you give me strength. You give me strength. You raise me up. With fear, blood. The shadow man. Oh. You raise me up. When fear. I don't like this anymore. We have to get to 25, boys. We're so close. God damn it, I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this game. Where's 20? Still not there yet. You know what? My anxiety is too intense. It's getting really bad. Like, I'm like freaking out a little bit. I can't keep playing this game. I'm sorry. I tried. I really did. We got to 425. I avoided Shadow Man twice and the smiley guy. The only thing we didn't deal with was the don't look at me guy. And I can't deal with that. I just don't have it in me. The sound is stressing me out alone. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's too scary. That is... I still can't do it. I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to play that game. I've been trying to play it since I was like 16, 18. I'm 26 now. It's been like 10 years. I still can't handle it. Focus for me, baby. Come on. There we go. Oh, God. Fucking piece of shit webcam. Come on. How can you not focus on me? I hate this webcam so much. I'll get a new one soon. I'm just broke right now. I don't have any money. How's it not focusing on the one fucking object on the screen? There we go. Damn it. That game really got to me. I'm sorry I couldn't do it. I really tried. I promise. God. Too scary, man. Just too scary. Y'all want to watch somebody else play it? I can't do it. I'll just react to some footage of somebody playing it. Even that's gonna make me freak out. Doing it myself is scary. They're gonna go so much faster than I did. People run through this game. They're like, whoa, freaking out. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm in the mood to do that. Let's watch somebody. Keep on just chatting and I'll find a good link for us. That's what I call this, when it's my face all screen says what's up there. I don't know how to use direction. Stage Jacob. Alright. Like slowly losing adrenaline now. God, that game makes me sick. Really. Makes me feel sick. Alright. Alright, I got one. Ooh. Oh shit. I just realized I had the game overlaid on chat. I didn't mean to do that. Where I couldn't see chat. I'm gonna pull up chat so it won't happen again. Make you mod? I'll make you mod when you actually show up to all my streams and hang out with me. You're only here like 20% of the time. So yeah, this is okay. So I can actually hear what the guy said now that it didn't scare the shit out of me as I was playing this time. Brandon says this chat's getting unruly. Yeah, so you can run. That's something I didn't even remember. So we were going really slow. That's really scary. So the guy behind me was probably like right behind me when we were playing. Haha, tricked you, Brandon. I knew you were gonna respond, and then I wanted your next response to have the mod thing on it. I just thought that'd be funny. Yeah, that breathing is the thing behind you. So even when you run, the thing will still be behind you. Now you don't hear the breathing anymore. He must have outrun it. Hey Brandon, do your mod thing and ban whoever just said that. Why the fuck would you buy primes? That doesn't even make sense, man. Come up with a better way to scam people, loser. Yeah, being mod is neat. Pretty fun. Yeah, you get lots of tools and like access to stuff. It's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that when we were going down. When you run through the game, it's really not that scary. I didn't know we could run. I actually don't know if every time I got my friends to play this, because I've had this game and I can't play it. I can't handle it. So I'm always like, hey, play this game and let me watch you play it to all my friends, right? I don't know if I ever told them you could run. I think me and all of my friends for a decade have been playing this game without running. That's hilarious, honestly. We never stood a chance. This is about how far we got before I was like, okay, I can't do it, it's scary. Yeah, when things move in slow motion, that's usually the guy behind you, I think, like gaining on you. This guy's getting pretty lucky. He hasn't had a lot of forks in his path yet. He went right. There's probably a trick figuring out right or left. I don't know what it is though, honestly. I've definitely gone down one and I just died. Maybe it was the thing behind me that killed me. Maybe you don't fall down. I really don't know. The game's a mystery to me. It's horrifying. I think that said 424, but he had just seen 26. $30. 32. This game is like the ultimate disorienting experience to me, and that I think that's really what fucks me up. Is it just it hits all of your senses with like fight or flight energy. Honestly, it just does. Ugh, too much. Even watching it kind of stresses me out. Playing it's a whole other experience though. Maybe once you've played it a few times, it's not so bad, but I just can't do it. Oh shit. That was scary. He had to turn back around and run. He did it quick. I hate this guy so much. You take your eyes off him, he kills you. Now you have to go backwards. Horrible. Now you're being chased by two things. This is an excellently made game. I'm not exactly sure who made this game, but every prop in the world to you, man. This is one of the most horrifying things ever. I've purposely gone out of my way many different times to try and find the actual scariest games. Like the games considered the most horrifying. This is at like the top 5 for me, easily. Probably like a tie for number 1 with something else, honestly. Now he's getting to a real serious chunk of the game now. Like about a third of the way down. Besides Silent Hill, I really enjoy the Penumbra series. That was fantastic. Amnesia was kind of cool. Machine for Pigs kind of sucked. I think it was called Machine for Pigs. Something like that. Yeah, the Amnesia sequel kind of sucked. There's a monster in there. He just has to keep running now. It just opens the brick and it's like, I'm here. Hello, Dad. I'm gonna have to watch some like Pokemon anime after this or something. I'm gonna have to do something to like put me in a good mood. Well, that's cute. I like what you just put. Meow 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 meow. 47. He's about halfway. This game is a trip. Oh shit, my bad. I'm sorry. This is a complete walkthrough, I believe, so I think we're gonna get to see the end. I hope he makes it that. Whoa. Stairs are like up, down now. Good fucking Escher painting in here, dude. 52, he's getting there. You have to keep your eyes on him basically until you start to go around a corner. This guy's really ballsy for taking his eyes off him and just darting to the corner. That's a really ballsy decision. I envy people that are like unfazed by stuff like this. Atmosphere kills me. I immerse myself in like everything completely. Stuff like this is how you scare the shit out of me. Basically. Like PT, I couldn't play. I tried. I got really far, I couldn't do it. Maybe he's playing with the sound off? That makes such a big difference. Well, you actually need the sound though, because there's like sound cues in the game for like a lot of these monsters. They'll make a sound and then you notice them. So if you don't hear the sound, it'll probably kill you. This man's tripping, bro. He's tripping. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to navigate this though, in all honesty. Thank God he got out of there, man. That motion blur was making my brain hurt. Also, to be fair, it's like if you play this 30 times, you kind of know what to expect. There's only like a certain amount of monsters in the game in general. Each time you go down, you're not going to see all of them. You'll just see like certain ones at general points. Floor 1978. You tripping, bro. Then it said 461. 61. I didn't catch which one that said. I didn't see. $63. What is he doing? What are you doing, dude? He's probably checking to make sure it's still recording while he was doing it. It's a good idea. $62. There was like 3 different paths he could have taken right then. And it's just leading in a weird circle. This is a long hallway. Now we're going down. There's like 4 different paths you can go. Nah. No, thank you. Oh. God damn. I don't remember this at all. I don't think I once saw a friend get like when the hieroglyphs start, when the floor signs just stop having numbers but they're just hieroglyphs. It was horrifying. I don't remember that room at all. I don't think we ever saw that. 69. Ain't no monsters on floor 69. What was on the ground in there? Floor 68. '69 again. That ass though. Pretty funny. '71. '72. Okay, he's making really good progress here. He's almost 3/4 of the way. That window up there looks really scary. There's no way we would have made it this far. I would have walked up to so many things and been like, what does this thing do? What's this thing? This looks weird. Isn't this weird? And then we would have got eaten. Or murdered. Or pillaged. Wait for me. What I really love about these SCP games is that it's like not a big team of people making this. These are all indie games, just made by people that love the idea. God damn it, that is so scary, man. But yeah, like this is just one demented guy who read an SCP and he was like, this would make a great game. So he did it. What a mad lad, what a passionate person for freaking me out. He's so, whoever made this, like I said earlier, kudos, man. It's amazing. It's so minimalist and simplistic in its design, but the way every aspect of it is meant to make you unsettled, pissed off, scared, angry, confused. It's so good. This guy hasn't died yet, but typically, like if you try this for the first time, you're going to die a lot. You have to move so fast through this. This is how he's playing is basically the only way that you can play. Like you have to move this quickly or else something behind you will get you. But you also have to be aware of what's in front of you. So the more familiar with the game you become, the more likely you are to beat it. I don't have the nerve to become familiar. I've just watched this a lot. That breathing is fucking not good. Scary. I don't know what makes that noise. I don't remember. Something in front of him. Oh, it's the Shadow Boy again. That's definitely a good trick though, is get the shadow to like go into a corner. Like and now you begin to realize the labyrinth is sentient. There's a hole in the ground right there, by the way. To his left that he just walked around. You die. These long hallways, man. Alright, he's going down now, that's good. And now, it's blank. Yeah, in a way it is similar to As Above, So Below. There's definitely, I could see some influence in that from this slightly. This has been around since like 2008 or like 9. This game's old. If not a little older, it's probably like 2007. That movie came out in like 2012, I think. Ugh. Yeah, stuff like this scares the shit out of me, and I kind of like it at the same time. 92, he's getting really close. You got this, bro. You got this. I really want to see the end. He hasn't hit the hieroglyph floors yet. I think that's around 100, if my memory is correct. 95. Ooh, that's close. That was really close. He was like a second away from losing the entire run right there. It's turning into hieroglyphs now. That was a weird little symbol. Fucking focus, dude. My webcam has ADHD or something. There we go. I need it to focus. It's like still slightly out of focus. Fuck it. Who cares? Again. Oh my god. Now it's just parentheses and symbols. Wrong way. He figured it out. That was probably a dead end where he would have died if he hadn't turned around. Growling again. He's in the belly of the beast. $116. Oh shit. This game goes on longer than I thought. I don't think I've ever seen this far. I think this is about where I've ever witnessed somebody get to. Make that turn, boy. Back on floor 1. That was odd. That was different than before. The rooms with all the paths in them, just like, that's a huge killer for me. It just stresses me out, and I'm already like so stressed out. Ugh. That was just the letter I. $115, that's not bad. I'm really curious, like, how this could end. Fucking focus, dude. There we go. Yeah, I'm curious, like, if this is like a sentient labyrinth that you've been dropped into because they've lost other people in, is the end that, like, you meet the beast that created the labyrinth? Or the monster, the SCP, whatever. It's an interesting concept. So in my head, this game, right? Like, I could learn more about the SCP itself and probably have answers to these questions that I'm hypothesizing. But it seems like really this game is like like an Escher painting, basically, like a never-ending staircase that is sentient, it just changes to fuck with you. Whoa. I can barely see as well, don't worry. It's supposed to be really dark. So he has to keep his eyes on this guy and navigate out of the room at the same time. There's two now. The shadow's coming closer. That shadow's getting really close, man. Gotta get out of here. It's an elevator. That shadow would have got his ass. Oh my god, man. Oh. This is what my nightmares are like. What? That's the end of the game? That was underwhelming. So it's like a room with a huge puzzle, and you have to deal with all of them at once. Yeah, that kind of sucked. I'm gonna be honest, that I feel like the dude could have done something kind of cool there. Let's see if we can find information about this game and learn a little bit about it.
The first thing that tipped the Foundation off to SCP-087's presence were the reports of numerous unexplained disappearances on campus. There were plenty of rumors about what might be behind them, but field agents suspected that the true source of the vanishing would be something beyond civilian imagination. All anyone knew for sure was that everyone who had gone missing was last seen in a certain administrative building on the university grounds, and that the disappearances only seemed to happen when the elevator was out. The campus was soon flooded with Foundation agents, creating a barrier around the administrative building and the presumed habitat of SCP-087. Nobody else could get in, and hopefully whatever was inside couldn't get out. One of the Foundation's lead scientists was flown in to consult on the investigation. What could have been behind those students disappearing? The doctor's preliminary interviews with university staff who worked in the building yielded some interesting details. Strange noises, like banging and even a faint, shrill crying, would be heard from a door that led to a no longer used stairway in hallway 3B. Staff in the building had no reason to ever take these stairs, especially considering how many of them reported a strange sense of unease when just standing outside the dorm. The only reason someone might take those stairs is due to elevator malfunctions. In that instant, the doctor had put it all together. The staff they interviewed had their memory wiped with amnestics, special chemicals used by the Foundation with the power to delete human memories.
It's kind of a cop-out in your writing, sorry, whoever wrote this.
Confirmed contact with an SCP, and the doctor knew that they had a live one on their staircase. There was something terribly wrong with that staircase, and it was the SCP Foundation's job to find out what before it made anybody else
Focus, you
disappear.
piece of
This
shit.
is the story of SCP-087, otherwise known as the Endless Staircase, and the 3 doomed journeys down into its murky depths. The Doctor was more than eager to begin research into the staircase and its frightening, anomalous properties. After all, you don't claw your way up to being one of the Foundation's key researchers without being brave, and perhaps just a little bit deranged. As was standard, once a perimeter was secured around the staircase, the good doctor requested a selection of D-Class personnel for testing. For those not in the know, D-Class is the Foundation's polite way of saying cannon fodder. The Doctor
Me.
was sent 3 D-Class prisoners for use in his investigation of SCP-087. The first, D-8432, was, according to official documentation on the incident, a 43-year-old male of average build and appearance and unremarkable psychological background.
That looks a lot
This
like me,
man once
actually,
worked for
when
the
I grow my
Foundation in
mustache
no
out.
official capacity, but he was given the often deadly demotion to D-Class.
I sound just like that.
Handling SCP-682 that led to the deaths of several other agents. Now, it looked like it would be his turn. The Doctor explained his mission to him: explore the staircase, gather data, help us find out exactly what we're dealing with here. If you come back alive, there may even be a promotion in it for you. And with that promise, D-8432 was given his loadout, a 75-watt flood lamp with battery power capable of lasting 24 hours, an audio headset, and a handheld camcorder fitted with a transmission stream, and an audio headset that would allow him to communicate with Dr. Bright. D-8432 was then pushed through the door in hallway 3B and out onto the staircase. According to declassified Foundation files describing the staircase, SCP-087 is an unlit platform staircase. Stairs descend on a 38-degree angle for 13 steps before reaching a semicircular platform of approximately 3 meters in diameter. Descent direction rotates 180 degrees at each platform. The design of SCP-087 limits subjects to a visual range of approximately 1.5 flights. But in D-8432's mind, unlit really didn't seem like the right word. He would have chosen all-consuming darkness. Despite carrying a powerful 75-watt lamp, D-8432 was only capable of partially lighting the platform he was standing on, and the illumination only stretched down 9 of the 13 steps to the next platform. When D-8432 observed how little help his lamp was giving him, he was instructed to shine it out of the doorway into hallway 3B. When he did so, the light seemed to shine far further than it ever could in SCP-087. Already, the beginning of the anomalous activity was obvious. Everywhere else, darkness is just the absence of light. In SCP-087, darkness eats light. It was like a tangible black mass that only a certain amount of light could survive, while the rest just wouldn't show. D-8432 swallowed hard over a lump in his throat. The door to hallway 3B was closed behind him, and he was ordered to descend. Surviving to see that promotion was feeling unlikely, but it's not like he had a choice.
Luke, this is a video explaining the game that we just played.
He'd be shot by SCP Foundation field agents.
You can go back and watch the VOD later. You can watch like the whole thing if you want.
The steps to the next platform. Nothing about the physical makeup of the staircase itself seemed abnormal. The base and walls were a very plain, dull concrete with a metal handrail. The only thing that seemed unique about it so far was the strange light-bending properties. That was, until he reached the second platform down and he heard it, a soft, echoing cry. A child's cry. It was shrieks of panic, or maybe even pain, echoing up from below. He was asked why he had stopped, and he explained the crying sound he'd been hearing. It sounded like it was coming from far down the stairs, maybe 200 meters below him. He could just make out the words, please, help, and down here, coming from the darkness. But the team outside the stairwell couldn't hear anything, so they asked him to descend further. Another platform down, and they could hear it too, the unmistakable cries of a terrified child. Please, help, and down here. D-8432 was ordered to keep going, and only stop if he noticed changes to the visual environment or in the sounds he was hearing. D-8432, knowing his life was on the line, had to keep going, and descended another 20 flights of stairs before stopping to remark that the sounds of the child hadn't gotten any closer. They still sounded just as far away as when he'd first heard them. He was told his observations were noted and pressured to continue. Within half an hour, D8432 had descended a full 50 floors, with no sign of a bottom in sight.
Wow.
Somehow, the volume of the child's crying had remained consistent throughout, as if it was moving away from D8432 at the same rate he was descending. At this point, D8432 reported that he was feeling uneasy.
So I want to point out, there's multiple stair SCP games based on SCP-087. I believe that this is actually based on a different one, but the one that we played and then the one we watched, I think that that's a fan-made game that's like just inspired. I almost said inspiration. Inspired by this story, this explanation that we're seeing here.
The doctor said that this was understandable, given the circumstances. He'd been watching what little there was to see over a live video feed the entire time, and something about the truly bottomless nature of the staircase and the ever-elusive crying was undeniably eerie.
Fuck that.
Things were about to really take a turn for the worst.
Scary.
As D432 stepped forward towards the next set of stairs, he froze. There was something on the platform below him, barely illuminated by the light of his 75-watt bulb. It was a face, vaguely human in size and shape, but with a few terrifying differences. It had grayish skin, and no mouth, nostrils, or pupils. And yet, D8432 could feel that this thing was making eye contact with him. He couldn't move, trapped in the thing's piercing gaze. In an instant, the face jerked forwards, suddenly only about a foot away from D432's face, eyes staring into its own. D8432 screamed and ran, scaling all 50 flights in an astonishing 18 minutes before charging out into hallway 3B. There, he collapsed from the exhaustion and the fear of what he'd just seen. Upon reviewing the footage, the strange face was designated SCP-087-1. Fascinating. It was time for a second experiment. The doctor just had to know more. The second test subject was D9035, a 28-year-old male with a history of aggravated assaults against women. He was given the same loadout as his predecessors, except this time with an even more...
I love that they're like, yeah, he beat women, so when he goes down there and something bad happens to him, you're not gonna be like, well, you know, he was a good, nice guy. It's a shame they sent him down there.
It's
funny.
Intended to permanently illuminate SCP-087. However, despite the extra wattage of his bulb, he still couldn't illuminate beyond the 9th step. SCP-087 wouldn't allow it. Having no ideas of the horrors that lurked below him, he descended on the doctor's orders and began fixing the LEDs to the walls of each platform he passed. The LED always illuminated the landing, but the light couldn't pass the first step on either side. The flights of stairs themselves would remain in perpetual darkness. After the second flight, D9035 noticed the same crying D8432 had heard and became uneasy. Just like before, as D9035 descended, the volume of the crying didn't seem to increase, as if for every step he descended, the source of the crying descended one, too, keeping them at a constant 200 meters apart. Still, he was ordered to continue his descent and the placing of LEDs even as his paranoia grew. When he reached the 51st floor, he observed damage to the wall and steps. Sections appeared to have been smashed to rubble by an extreme force. As he descended past the broken step, he only felt his fear, anxiety, and paranoia grow.
Yo, I like that emote.
Of the fact that
Fire.
SCP-087 seemed to cause instances of anxiety and terror in its occupants, even before they encountered SCP-087-1. As D9035 reached Platform 89, a full 350 meters under the initial platform, he stopped dead in his tracks and saw something staring up at him from the platform below. That same terrible gray face with those dead white eyes. He was encouraged to stay calm and try to get better footage of the face, but it charged for him, and D9035 ran for his life. He ascended the staircase at a staggering pace, even passing out from exhaustion and remaining motionless for 14 minutes halfway. When D9035 finally gathered the strength to get up,
it is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. That's the best quote. I love that. Mewtwo really was spitting fire that day.
Almost like he's still there in the hallway. The doctor wanted to conduct one more test before he ordered SCP-087 shut off from the world forever. And it was the most terrifying of all. The final subject was D9884, a 23-year-old woman with a history of depression and use of excessive
She looks
drugs. The doctor
90.
had hoped that D9884 would travel the deepest yet.
Pika
So he gave her
pika.
the additional supplies of a backpack containing 3.75 liters of water, 15 nutrient bars, and 1 thermal blanket. As far as the Foundation was concerned, she was in this for the long haul, but none of them had any idea quite how right they were. When D9884 entered SCP-087, all the lights from the previous expedition had disappeared. Still, she was ordered to go deeper. She heard the crying of the mysterious child, if it was even a child at all, and again she was ordered to go deeper. At the 496th landing, even as D9884 seemed to slip into a state of mortal terror, once again she was ordered to go even deeper. Every moment, he was hoping to get a better look at the face of SCP-087-1, and when D9884 finally broke and fled back upstairs, he did. The face appeared, but this time, it was mere inches behind her, staring directly into the camera with its blank eyes, startling even this veteran of the supernatural. The face appearing caused D9884 to panic and flee, but instead of going back up the stairs to safety, she went deeper down the staircase in an attempt to escape it, deeper and deeper and deeper, until her video feed cut out. D9884 was never seen again. In the aftermath of the tests, the SCP was classified as Euclid. It may have been dangerous, but at least it was easy to contain. The door to hallway 3B was replaced with one made out of reinforced steel with an electro-release lock mechanism. It has been disguised to resemble a janitorial closet consistent with the rest of the building.
So
The lock
dumb.
won't release unless a classified number of electrical volts are applied, while the key is turned counterclockwise. And after a few inches of foam insulation were applied to the inner side of the door, staff at the building never again reported hearing strange noises. As for the fates of those lost within the endless turning flights and platforms of SCP-087, we may never know, but one can only assume it isn't pleasant.
Okay, well that wasn't a very good explanation, but it was interesting. Let's see if we can find something that explains the game. So this game is actually called 087-B. Maybe that'll help. This guy says it was for me. How we believe it works is it generates a random endpoint in which the player dies. Well, we know that's not true now. I guess this game has been remade. So that makes sense. The original is the brick wall one, I suppose. Roblox, wow, so cool. Yeah, me too, bud. Really scary. The Containment Breach isn't that scary. That's just kind of a cool game. You know who it was? I probably saw Cry play this like 10 years ago. That's probably where I heard about this game. I used to watch him play all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I don't know how much more information we're actually going to be able to find on this, to be honest. Let's see if I can find something about the SCP stuff itself. You find there is no canon. Okay, I don't get what that means. Find yourself inside a set of randomly generated dark hallways and staircases with something lurking below you, and the only way you can go deeper is into the darkness. How deep can you go? created by Regalis. That's really cool. Loosely based on the SCP Foundation universe and is considered by Regalis to be the stepping stone to the creation of SCP Containment Breach. I believe it. Definitely, it's really cool. Started off as an extremely simple minigame I wrote one weekend for fun, but it got so much attention and positive comments I took it a bit further, adding more floors, different kinds of rooms, and random events. A short while after the release of SCP-087 by Haverson, an experimental horror game based upon SCP blah blah blah, Regalis had begun development on an extended version of the game which drifted away from the canonical version of the SCP. It was developed over the course of 1 week and was posted to various image boards such as the Chan. Shortly after SCP-087-B's release, Regalis began circulating it through various forums and YouTube videos, allowing the game to garner a significant amount of attention. It received a lot of praise for its claustrophobic atmosphere and randomized jump scares. The game's sudden rise in popularity made Regalis decide to further expand the game, adding more rooms and randomized events, unofficially referred to as 0.2. Wow, and then he went on to create Containment Breach. That's amazing. Containment Breach is a great game. The latest version of it's crazy. There's so much to it now. I remember when it was just like a little tech demo back in the day. SCP-087-B is a building with highly unusual properties. When 2 or more subjects enter the SCP, it appears to be an empty, unlit room with concrete walls and a large metal door. The subjects have described feeling anxious and nauseated inside the room, but no further anomalies have been reported. Subjects who entered alone described seeing a dark brick walled hallway at the wall opposite to the door via radio. Radio signals seem to weaken extremely fast inside of it. Radio communication with the subjects becomes impossible when they have entered the hallway. Attempts to re-establish radio contact after losing the signal have failed. Opening the door becomes possible approximately 2 hours after the subjects have entered the hallway. None of these subjects have returned, and no further contact with them has been established. So they die. This game is based inside SCP-087 in tight corridors with walls. The game starts out at the entrance. Unidentified researcher tells the player through a headset to go down, be cautious of what lies ahead. For the rest of the game, the player is walking through hallways, down staircases, while attempting to avoid occasional monsters that will pursue and attack the player. The total amount of floors ranges from anywhere beyond 130. Upon entering the last hallway, the walls behind the player will close in, and they will be ambushed and killed by the masked man, causing the game to intentionally crash. Upon crashing, one of these messages will appear. No, it's not about whether you die or not, it's about when you die. Nice. And then welcome to nil. Masked man is the most common entity. Appears as a black humanoid figure wearing a white mask with a smile. Throughout the game, it will manifest in a variety of ways. The masked man will appear at a corner. We saw that happen. When the player is roughly halfway down a hallway, the hall will become darker, and the player will light a match to see what's in front of him. When lit, the match will reveal the masked man walking toward the player. Alternatively, it may approach the player from behind under the same conditions, forcing the player to keep moving forward. In case there will be a brick wall in the way, which will move as the masked man nears it, allowing the player to keep moving and elude it. When the player begins to go down a new hallway, the hallway will become momentarily pitch black. The hallway will then regain its visibility, and the masked man can be seen in the distance, looking at the player from the end of the hallway. After this event, more blackouts occur. During the blackouts, the masked man will get closer and closer to the player until it's within the vicinity of them and kills them. Physical contact results in instantaneous death. You have to keep your distance to stay alive. The red mist monster appears as a black humanoid figure with red spots. At random points before the player reaches the 40th floor, the red mist monster will manifest in the corner room while shouting at the player to not look at it. It's the "don't look at me" fella. The player must keep direct eye contact with it, otherwise it'll quickly move toward the player and kill them. In the windowed hallway, the red mist monster has a chance of spawning behind the window, though it cannot harm the player. After approximately 20 floors, should the player encounter the forked path and walk directly up to the pit, the red mist monster will appear behind the player and walk toward them, forcing them to either fall into the pit or die. Don't look at me, behind you. Let's hear the behind you one.
Behind you.
That was loud and scary. Cheshire Smile. Yeah, we saw that when we were playing. When the player moves close enough to it, it will vanish. While vanishing, it will whisper no. This behavior occurs with each encounter event and does not change in any way whatsoever. This is the only entity that doesn't harm the player. Unidentified researcher is a man who speaks to the player via headset. He directs the experiment, consoling the player and directing them down the staircase. However, as time passes, the radio signal becomes weaker until it's intercepted by a second voice, who may possibly be one of the few monsters encountered. That's horrifying. That is really scary. What? In the first version of SCP-087-B, a different face would appear at the ending in place of the masked man's. Regalis has stated the faces of the Finnish rapper Carl, who's famous on Finnish image boards. The sound file, which plays, is an ending clip taken from an interview with him. As the game was intended to mainly be distributed on Finnish sites, Regalis felt it would be a humorous inside joke to add. However, once it became popular, he was like, that's fucking dumb, I gotta get rid of that. Every single room is randomized, similar to Containment Breach generates some of its rooms. Entrance, hallway, hallway junction, fork path. Big room. This room consists of a lot of space. Cheshire Smile will often spawn next to the Ark. Maze. This room contains several forks and dead ends. Corner room. Windowed hallway. Wow. Well, that was kind of interesting, honestly. I feel like we learned a little bit about the game and the creation of it, which I think is really cool. It's wild that this guy also made Containment Breach. Maybe we'll have to go into that at some point and look at the SCPs relating to it. It's a little bit interesting. I think I'll end this chunk of the stream. I may stream again later tonight and play some chess with Gage. It just depends on if he feels like playing. If not, I may do something else. I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna take a break for a little while. So I hope this was fun and somewhat informative. For people who like that game, maybe they learned something. For people who didn't know anything about the game, I hope it scared you and you were like, whoa, freaking out like me. It was good. It was good. I had fun. Hope everyone had fun too. So, I'll be back soon and we'll do something fun. I'll see you then.